This goes out to James Gunn and the DC creative team and anyone that's worked on Batman. Because anyone that's before James Gunn who's worked on Batman, stop ruining Batman. Now, you must be wondering, oh, Eclipse, what do you mean by we're ruining Batman? Simple. You try and make his eyes visible in the mask because you want the audience to be able to read his micro expressions. That goes against his initial character design. And here's a hefty example. Look at Spider-Man Noir's eyes. In most comic iterations and in the recent live-action movie, the white eyes completely devoid his expressions in the eyes, thus making it harder to read him. And the mask of Batman should do the same concept. By giving him full white lenses with no visible pupils, here's what you're doing. Basically, makes it where that not even the audience or the criminals can read his micro-expressions, making him 10 times more terrifying to the general audience. Because what's more terrifying, seeing this shit or seeing that shit? Yeah, thought so. Also, if you're like, oh, but Eclipse, the bat symbol doesn't even make sense to the yellow utility belt. How can they possibly do that in live action? Shut up. Just shut the fuck up and let me explain, bitch, because obviously you don't know how physics would track in this debate at all. I'm going to try and use the best way I can to describe this as a visual example, but really, if you were to think about it, that yellow oval on the chest and that yellow utility belt act as a guidance to the heavily reinforced chest and less of the overall body, because when you have that yellow belt, it's going to act as a focusing tool for the criminal to immediately, in a state of panic, guide his eyes upward and towards that yellow symbol, making it to where immediately their eyes lock onto the fucking symbol, thus meaning that they point and shoot at the chest area, the most reinforced part of Batman's suit, as it is even explained in the Arkham games. You know, everybody's favorite form of Batman lore. And yeah, basically, if you say it doesn't make sense after that, shut the fuck up. Also, one more thing that I want to mention is something that I haven't mentioned yet, and that is the cape. Because we need that 2004, the Batman silhouette, where the cape fully drapes over the entire body, including the feet. And here's how you can do it, because the 89 Batman film showed us this. Now, in Tim Burton's Batman 1989, they used a heavy rubber faux leather material for the cape, but had wires that acted like the ribs of an actual bat, like an actual bat's wing, so that when he raised them, it looked like bat wings. You can do the same thing with lighter fabrics and the same raised webbing that we see in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man and in the new Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. And here's how you can achieve the effect. Use a lighter, thinner black fabric and then a slightly heavier fabric for the inner dark blue / purple lining for the cape, and then put that raised webbing ribs along those points of the cape to get the points and actual reason to exist there instead of just being a cool visual. Because let me just bring up one of my favorite covers, being Batman: A Death in the Family. Notice how the cape has these little jagged points here that go upward. Yeah, if you actually put ribs right along here, like a slightly raised webbing kind of thing, from a bit like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man design, that would work really well. And hold on, I think I actually have that DVD somewhere. Couldn't find any example, unless, of course, I can just kind of pull it up on my Xbox, which I might be able to do. Hold on. Okay, let's see if I can't just find my controller and put it up on the Xbox. Might be able to. Yeah. Hold on, we're getting it on the TV. Just talk amongst yourselves. Basically, the individual ribs on the inner lining of the cape would look like these, just without all the little webbing bits. Meaning it would flow and drape dramatically over the silhouette and hold its shape without endlessly flapping in the wind or limiting the actor's movements. Meaning they can flip the cape dramatically and or dynamically, and it would still have that same imposing effect, even if it is all the way to boot length. And it would still give it a highly practical, visually stunning look in live action, and I think it would visually be a very great dynamic look. But hey, these are just my thoughts. What do you guys think? And I'll have James Gunn and DC Comics tagged to see if they view this video, and you can also find this video on YouTube and Facebook as well, so that it will also be posted there. So yeah, bye.